this is where we get to talk and debate about all things paranormal, strange, and just plain weird. And from time to time, we're going to have special guests joining us. Those who investigate ghosts and haunted places, hunt Bigfoot, chase UFOs, discover metaphysical mysteries, and uncover the truth surrounding urban legends and myths. I'm Jackie Meador, Director of Central California Paranormal Investigators, and here with me is my co-host and partner, sensitive healer, and Reiki Master of Sacred Light Reiki, Krista Erickson.
Hello. Hey. All right, this just happened in Japan. Japan's tourism board assigns mascots for each of their districts as a way of brand recognition and merchandise sales. And these mascots, they draw in huge amounts of money, and there's one unofficial mascot that just became legit. Godzilla, or Gojira, is now, did I say that right? Gojira is now an official resident of Japan. The reason for special residency? Promoting the entertainment of and watching over the Kabukicho neighborhood and drawing visitors from around the globe in the form of the Godzilla head that was built atop the Shinjuku Toho building. So now there's been some previous visits to the Shinjuku ward before, 3 times in fact. Godzilla in 1984, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah in, did I say that one right? Ghidorah. You know, this was in 1991. I was 9 years old.
Why do you think I gave you this article?
I know. And of course, Godzilla 2000 Millennium, which came out in 1999. Now, Godzilla has been granted residency papers by the Shinjuku Ward Office after being assigned as an official tourism ambassador for Tokyo. Officials even handed out copies of the certificate to the first 3,000 fans as proof. It reads, name, Godzilla, address, Shinjuku-ku, Kabukicho, 119-1, date of birth, April 9th, 1954, which was the release of the very first Godzilla film, and the date of becoming a Shinjuku resident was April 9th, 2015, and if you do the math, that was Godzilla's 61st birthday.
So it's his birthday, 61 years old.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Godzilla. All of us here at Paranormal Journeys send Godzilla our very most heartfelt congratulations.
You go, big guy, you go.
So, you know, and we just talked a month or two ago about how the unicorn was going to be Ireland's, they're trying to get the unicorn to be Ireland's new mascot, so.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, that's right, Loch Ness Monster.
The
unicorn is already on there.
Right.
Yeah, that's right, okay.
It's already there.
Yeah, so we're kind of seeing a trend here of countries using these mythological creatures as important symbols.
Well, representing their country,
yeah.
You know, which is, and they've pretty much been made famous by books or TV or movies or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if any other countries kind of jump on this bandwagon. Who do you think the American mythological creature would be?
Oh,
I'd have to say Bigfoot.
I'd have to say, yeah.
Bigfoot,
Sasquatch. Yeah, I would too.
Mexico, Chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
I don't know what the Canadians would have.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know. I guess I don't know many Canadian myths. Maybe a topic for next episode.
Yeah, we'll have to call our friend Reyes and see if he's got any
I'm sure he does.
myths and legends about over up in Canada.
Yeah. Anyway, next segment, Strange Planet.
Oh, yeah, this is a really cool article. I mean, I had no idea this existed.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So think the Caribbean and the Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Triangle off the coast of Japan, Hamakulia southeast of Hawaii, and the Algerian megalith south of Timbuktu. These and other areas are considered to be part of what's known as the 12 Devil's Graveyards. And they seem to be a magnet for missing persons and mysterious disappearances. Now, for whatever reasons, people come to such places and simply vanish. They just disappear and they never return. The Bermuda Triangle is the most famous of these places, but there are more anomalous zones to be found around the world, including the lesser-known Alaskan Triangle. Now, it is a very vast expanse of wilderness in the northernmost U.S. state of Alaska. a cold, barren place that encompasses a large section of the state that includes vast areas of unexplored wilderness. So a lot of this area, we don't even know what's out there. The region sports an unusually high number of people, both tourists and locals, who go missing every year without a trace. And additionally, many planes have also disappeared inexplicably, crashing there. It is said that since 1988, a staggering 16,000 people have vanished in the so-called Alaska Triangle, and they've never been heard from again. So what's going on here?
Well, like I said, I've never heard of it. So, I mean,
either.
you know, it doesn't get a lot of publicity, but I mean, obviously, I think there was a famous case. Let me see. Was it a senator?
It was a senator,
House
a couple
Majority
people.
Leader Hale Boggs and Representative Nick Begich, along with an aide and their Bush pilot, they mysteriously vanished in the region. So their plane went down and they're never heard from again. So I think that's where most people heard that, and that was in 1972. So I'm you know, where have I been? You know, how come? And there's 12 of these places. Of course, Easter Island is one of them. There's several other, there's some in Algeria, and there's, you know, all over. But they seem to be, when I looked at the map, they seem to be all on the same equatorial, what I guess line, what they call, latitude.
So they share like a meridian.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Or is the meridian's one that goes up?
I don't know. But they were all really like kind of horizontal, like in a line across the globe.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. So, and there are some theories out there, and they range from the plausible to the fringe, of course. The area has long been associated with evil spirits in the lore of the native Tlingit people of the region. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah. It sounded good.
Okay, good.
Sounded good.
And there is one notorious entity being called the Kushtaka, which is a shape-shifting demon that is said to look like a cross between a man and an otter, and is said to lure hapless people into their doom, in particular, those who are lost. According to American researcher and cryptozoologist Ivan T. Sanderson, certain geographical areas on our planet exhibit extreme electromagnetic anomalies, as well as energy vortexes, also called ley lines. They're also known as Secche lines. These energy vortexes are said to create all sorts of strange phenomenon. They are thought to affect humans in various physical, mental, and emotional ways, such as causing visions, demonstrating miraculous powers of healing, and generating spurts of creativity or profound epiphanies.
Right.
They can also allegedly induce disorientation, confusion, and both audio and visual hallucinations.
Right.
As well as cause delicate electrical instruments to just go haywire and to malfunction. So more far out theories on energy vortexes are that they are actually doorways into spiritual dimensions, or are gateways to other realms. Now, according to the authorities, the disappearances are due to a completely different reason altogether. Of course, they always have a different story.
This is where the practical side comes in.
Yeah, so here's the practical side.
Yeah.
Alaska has vast swaths of remote wilderness that is untouched by humans. This harsh landscape is full of all manners of perils, including unforgiving weather, hazardous terrain, dangerous wild animals, and harrowing geological dangers. Now, considering the massive amount of rugged wilderness, it is perhaps no surprise that a good amount of people may become lost in the middle of nowhere. Whether the mysterious disappearances of the Alaska Triangle are the result of natural perils, strange energy vortexes, or ancient evil spirits, it's likely that we will never fully understand the mystery. So,
what do you think? I mean, it was interesting to note that these mysterious places or vortexes or whatever were on this, I guess, ley line. Right. And there was and they were just kind of spread out around the globe right near this, and most of them anyway. And I think Sedona was on there as well. But yeah, it was intriguing. I had no idea these other places existed, because they don't get a lot of publicity.
Right.
But I mean, who determines these triangles? And they're all shaped like a triangle.
Apparently, yeah, which is also weird. So, there's this whole theory about sacred geometry and how, these ley lines or the Seke lines, whatever you want to call them, everything is interconnected. Maybe there's some energy running along one of those ley lines that is just causing stuff to happen in these places, but
Now,
who knows?
when we talk about the Nazca lines, are they the same as the ley lines?
No, ley lines and Seke lines, they're not visible. They're like they're
Okay.
energetic lines
Okay,
that
okay.
connect the earth, and they correspond to sacred geometry. So things
Okay.
like the flower of life, and if you've ever seen a picture of the earth that's been gridded out,
Yeah.
those are the ley lines.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So you don't see them
okay.
like the Nazca lines. Those are
Yeah, you see those.
Yeah, those are human-made creations, which probably have to do with the ley lines.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like Stonehenge is on top of a ley line, from what I understand.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and like with places like Stonehenge, and I'm assuming these places as well, it's not just that they're on a ley line, but they're at a place where ley lines intersect.
Oh.
Because there's ley lines all over the globe, but it seems to be that the places where they intersect each other
Right.
is where this kind of thing is happening. So.
Yeah. Well, there were more, but I guess the 12 Devils graveyards were the most prominent. So,
Right.
But being in Alaska, being in the wilderness, and but there's so many other dangers. How do you know?
Right.
How do you know that it's not something explainable?
Well, and how many people die just from exposure?
Right.
I mean,
But it would be something to I don't know. Maybe somebody out there knows more about the Alaskan Triangle, more than what we could find on the internet. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
if you do, let us know.
yeah,
So,
because we are always looking for more information.
Yeah.
So anytime you hear us talking about something, you're like, no, we got some more. Let us know, please. Correct us. We won't be offended.
yeah, but it's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. I thought the Bermuda Triangle was the only one.
When I had heard of other places before, but I had never heard of the Alaskan one. So that was
Cool.
news to me.
Cool. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Well, I got something special for Krista.
Uh-oh.
If you watched our last episode, you'll remember our discussion about Australia and Krista's hesitancy to travel there. Well, I did a little digging, and perhaps she may have some good reasons. Here are a few things in Australia that will try to kill you. There are around 520 species of spiders wriggling around Australia, most of which are extremely venomous, like the funnel web spider is the most venomous on the planet, if not the universe. Now, spiders I don't like. I mean, I tolerate them, but I really, really, really don't like them.
See, and they don't bother me too much. I'm not going to let one live in my house by any means, but
I don't.
yeah. But that's just the beginning, right?
That's at the beginning. A nightmare for everyone, everywhere, is the giant centipede that grows to a whopping 6¼ inches of pure terror. This insect spawn of Satan is naturally equipped with a pair of venomous claws that sting its victims, because having scores of legs running haphazardly in no particular direction isn't terrifying enough. If they develop wings one day through some sort of sorcery, which may just happen in Australia, I'm out of here. I'm moving to space. These guys even kill snakes.
These centipedes say, no.
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 You think 6½ inches is really not that long.
Right.
But these guys,
But they're obviously mean little critters.
Oh, yeah,
Because,
yeah.
oh,
I don't want one crawling into my sleeping bag.
No.
No. Okay, our next one. These little critters are the second most venomous snakes in the world. They prefer homes in the suburbs, and when provided, they will chase you around the yard until they bite you, which will inflict a terrible pain. They'll make you double over, poop your pants, paralyze you, and eventually, if untreated, kill you. You know, I saw the pictures. I didn't put a lot of pictures up, but I did the picture. I mean, they were in stores, in homes.
Oh,
they were
no.
on golf courses. They were all over. And these snakes are, you know, they're like pythons. You know, so they're definitely not.
Yeah, I respect snakes. I really respect snakes, but snakes that chase you?
Oh yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that
gives me the
I saw
shivers.
snakes eating alligators.
I've seen that too from Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing is normal there.
Nothing is normal. All right, this goofy-looking Darwin defier is a super pissed-off, flightless bird that hates you. It can grow to 6 feet tall, run at speeds of up to 31 miles per hour, jump to heights of 5 feet, and is an excellent swimmer. So you'll never be able to hide from the cassowary. They are actually a living version of the raptors in Jurassic Park. And this time, there's no T-Rex to save your bum. These birds attack hundreds of people every year and have even killed before. These creatures typically wreak havoc in the sea and defy logic by eating pretty much anything, even their badass predators. Males can reach over 20 feet long. No thanks. A normal diet for these barbarian reptiles consists of sharks, bears, and tigers. The horrifying reality is that they literally have zero predators. Seriously, not even the predator can stop these things.
Wait a minute. It says that they eat bears, sharks, and tigers?
Well, they come on land too.
There's tigers in Australia?
I guess that's
And-
that's what the research said.
That's just craziness. And they're called surfing crocodiles?
Well, no, they're just crocodiles, but they surf. They go into the ocean. They do. They go on land, in the ocean, anywhere they damn well please.
Because they ain't got no predator.
Because they can.
Because they eat bears and sharks and tigers.
That's right. They eat anything.
My goodness.
And there is nobody above them, you know, that can chase them around.
20 feet long. That's insane. That's insane.
All right.
Okay.
Although it looks like a rock, it's actually the Earth's most poisonous fish that's covered in needle-like spines. Rather than actually swimming, it stays stationary on rocks to camouflage itself. Well, I just won't go swimming then, in the ocean. Doesn't matter.
So you're not safe on land or in the ocean?
Right. Stonefish can survive on land for up to 24
Oh, God.
hours. So you're not going to go like looking at the tide pools and stuff because you might step on one stonefish and then you'll die. The water.
You can't even look at a tide
You can't even, yeah.
Ay.
I know. So I told you might have good reasons.
Yeah, there's, it's just not natural.
Okay, if you're still thinking about taking a dip in the azure waters, this spineless floating pain palace will put the brakes on that plan. Enter the box jelly, the size of your thumbnail, and it is extremely venomous and a dangerous killer. It'll sting you, realize it can't eat you, then just keep swimming around to enjoy your agonizing pain. Worst ocean friend ever, okay? What makes this species even more dangerous is the fact that they hunt their prey, unlike most jellies who kind of just drift, right? All right, and they have short-term memory issues, so after stinging you once, they'll do so again just because they can.
Bunch of little jerks.
I know. And these things are small. These things are really small.
Yeah, the size of your thumbnail?
If you're skin diving or scuba diving, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't be able to see them.
Oh my goodness.
So you swim, you swim into a school of these things. Ooh.
Ooh, a pain palace is a good name for those little critters. Oh my goodness.
All right. And just in case you forget, there are even road signs to help you remember. Look at, you're driving along and it's help you remember these things are poisonous and dangerous. Spiders, got the box jelly, you know, the sharks. I didn't even include the sharks. Because it seems like the sharks are pretty much low down on the venomous scale, you know. So.
Well, and then don't they have those crazy blue octopus too? Like the only venomous.
Yeah, it's called the ring. I think it's the ringed Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the blue-ringed octopus.
And those are only found in Australia as well.
And they're the only octopus fatal to humans. And they're small. They're little, like this. And then we have the amoeba meningitis, which is rare and lethal, and it's with a 3% survival rate.
3% survival rate?
And that's found in fresh water. So if
Oh,
the water
God.
temperature reaches a certain degrees, then this is where they thrive, and you can kill.
So you're not safe on the land. You're not safe in the ocean. You're not safe
Safe
in
in
fresh water. You're not safe in your house because the snakes will just come right in and chase you. I mean, do you guys see why I would never go to Australia? I mean,
Hundreds of thousands of tourists go to Australia every year, and you never
Yeah.
hear of any accidents or issues, you know. But I mean,
because
they
it's
may
so
have it.
commonplace, it's not even news anymore.
Well, she's just bound and determined to find something wrong. You know, well, hopefully I can convince her, you know.
Ay.
Like I said, there are lots of other things in Australia that are unusual, but won't try to kill you. Nevertheless, like giant earthworms, these giant earthworms are huge, and they're like this big
Seen
around.
those.
Oh, yeah. Grasshopper plagues every couple of years. Drop bears they look like koala bears. They're so cute, but they live in the tree and they drop on you as you walk under them and they attack you.
Why?
I don't know.
Because they're jerks.
Because they can, I guess. I don't know. And then they have flies. Lots and lots of flies. Snakes in toilets, snakes roaming the streets, in homes and shops, the list goes on. But in fairness, like I said, there are some beautiful things and places in Australia. So if I could just get my co-host to go, you know, on location.
You want to fund it? I'll be there. I'll get like some thigh-high, like steel-toed hiking boots. I'm sure I can have some made, right? You know.
Well, I'm not going to go into the wild. I'm not crazy, and not after reading this.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Oh, and let's not forget about my favorite, the flying fox, which is basically the ginormous 5-foot bat that we talked about last episode. Yeah.
Oh, we'd survive.
I'm sure we
survive.
would.
Yeah.
Because I would have a bodyguard with me to fight off all the crazy snakes and alligators and to look for rockfish and an animal guard.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. Enough of that spooky talk. So we are going to do one of my favorite segments as the paranormal world turns. Okay, so a popular TV psychic is beaten up by Yobo.
I think it's Yobo.
Yobo ghosts. Say what?
I've never heard of it.
So first thing first, what is a Yobo?
Yobo.
I'll get it right eventually. Well, a loud, inconsiderate, usually smelly person found in groups for self-preservation, sometimes prone to violence, and always found with beer and cheap smokes. I don't know where people get this, but that's what a Yobo is. So Derek Acora was filming in
Wales. Well, I don't know how
Rise?
to put it. It's a real, I think.
Oh, why do I get all the difficult names?
Because I love you.
Somewhere in Wales, I believe it's pronounced Rael.
Well, yeah.
I think. But anyway, however it's pronounced. So they were filming in Wales this week for a hit TV show, which is called Most Haunted. And the trip was cut short because the host was found in the street flailing his arms around, shouting incoherently. Acora claimed that a gang of Burberry-clad ghosts, also known as Yobos, apparently they have really expensive taste, but he claims that these ghosts assaulted him, and the TV star was physically unharmed and discharged himself from the hospital before being seen by the psychiatric specialist, which was probably a good choice. Now, he actually said that he should be free to go about my job without the threat of being attacked like this. They approached me and told me I was on their turf, and all I wanted to do was find out if they had any messages for the living, he said. The only message here was that Akora received was that he claims that were spiritual wounds, is what he's calling it, spiritual wounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So he has begun proceedings to sue the town council, and while he remains optimistic of a six-figure payout, I can count 6 figures. Sources close to the case are dubious.
Yeah.
So he's wanting to sue the town council because Burberry-clad Yobo ghosts
Thugs.
attacked him.
Ghosts that are thugs. Probably thugs in their prior life are still thugs in their spiritual life.
That wear Burberry.
Well, they call them the Burberry ghosts.
No, they said they were
thugs.
Burberry-clad.
Well, yeah, yeah. It isn't expensive over there as it is here.
That's true, because here, like a scarf is like 120 bucks, you know? Forget about their perfume. It's amazing, but oh my goodness, it's like a month's pay for a bottle of it. So, really? And he's hoping for a 6-figure payout. He's looking for 6 figures because a ghost beat him up.
Yeah, well.
How do you sue anybody for that?
He's delusional. I mean, that's all I can say. He should have seen that psychiatrist.
Right. Maybe it would have been in his best interest to not discharge himself.
I think he just got drunk and fell and hit his head
and he had to blame it on somebody.
Had to blame it on somebody. Yeah, that's all I can think of. I really doubt these Yobos beat him up. I really doubt that. I mean, I think all he wanted to do was find out if he could help them, and they attacked him.
Right.
So.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Another episode of As the Paranormal World Turns.
All right, we're going to get serious now.
Okay.
It's about time.
Serious face.
Serious face. Okay, serious face. All right, we've talked about energy healing in the previous episode, but we are going to specifically talk about Reiki. It is perhaps the most widely known form of energy work. It's easy to learn and do and can have powerful effects. Reiki is a form of alternative medicine developed in 1922 by Japanese Buddhist Mikao Usui. Since its beginning in Japan, Reiki has been adapted across varying cultural traditions. It uses a technique commonly called palm healing or hands-on healing. Through the use of this technique, practitioners believe that they are transferring universal energy through palms of the practitioner, which they believe encourages healing. On the flip side, Reiki is considered pseudoscience. It is based on Ki, which practitioners say is a universal life force, although there is no empirical evidence that such a life force exists. Surveys of the clinical research do not show Reiki effective as a medical treatment, and concerns about safety in Reiki are similar to those of other unproven alternative medicines. Some physicians and allied health care workers believe that patients might avoid clinically proven treatments for serious conditions in favor of unproven alternative medicines. Thus, mainstream medical opinion states that Reiki should not be a replacement for conventional treatment of diseases such as cancer, but that it may be used as a supplemental to standard medical treatment. Well, lucky for us, we have a Reiki master here with us to answer all our questions. Krista?
Do I get to go sit in the guest chair?
No.
Oh.
But and we've covered energy healing, but we did kind of a broad scope.
Right.
We covered energy healing, but specifically, I think we wanted to talk about and have our viewers show our viewers what Reiki, because that seems to be more prevalent, especially here in the Valley.
Yes.
I see Reiki all the time now.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. People they're taking classes on becoming masters or other teachers, and so. What is Reiki? What is it? In layman's terms for our audience.
Well, it's like you said. So the way that it works, to become a Reiki healer, you go through an attunement process, which is attuning your energetic body to the same frequency as the Reiki energy, which is a universal life force energy. So when I say universal life force energy, the easiest way to explain that is it's energy direct from source, whether you call that source God or goddess, or you call it whatever you want to call it. You can call him Buddha, you can call him the great divine, the cosmos, whatever word that you have in your vocabulary, in your belief system, that's where this energy is coming from.
And so it sounds like you're like a channeler.
I don't like the word channeler, but we're like a faucet.
Well, it flows
the
from
energy
here,
kind of flows
comes through you, comes
right.
out through your hands, and then onto your client.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and it's not a religion. And that's why it
Okay.
doesn't matter what you call the source, because Reiki is not by any means a religion. You do not have to have certain religious beliefs in order to be trained. You don't have to change beliefs. It's nothing like that. Anybody can do it. And yeah, so that energy is coming through you and out of mostly our palms, but one of the earlier teachers, Mrs. Heiwa Takata, who actually is responsible for bringing Reiki here to the United States, she also taught that Reiki came from the heart and from the eyes as well. So, there's different places that the energy kind of flows out of the practitioner.
Yeah, but I mean, the basic is that it flows through you to the client, through the hands to the client, so that you're able. Now I know there's two different versions. Some practitioners do touch the hands to the person, and some just right above the body, right above the flesh, skin. Okay.
Yeah, and there's some reasons for that. Traditionally, it was taught with hands-on.
Right.
But what's happening is that as you practice and as you get attuned to the energy, some people can actually feel better if you're not touching, because then you're actually working within the energetic field of the person rather than on their physical body.
That makes sense to me.
And plus, in especially in states like California, where this is a very sue-happy state. It is.
Yeah, you're right.
It
you're
is,
right,
and people will sue you for anything. And so like when I teach Reiki classes, I teach a no-touch approach because first I do believe that it's good to get practice working in the energetic field versus on the physical body, because it is energy that we're working with. But also because you reduce a lot of liability. And unless you have a license to touch, which is like you're a massage therapist or craniosacral therapy, something along those lines, then you shouldn't be touching people that you don't personally know.
Right.
Like you shouldn't be taking clients in and putting your hands all over them without having insurance coverage.
Okay.
Because even if you accidentally touch them inappropriately.
So if someone for the first time wanted to go have a Reiki treatment, they could ask the practitioner, if they just called somebody, do you do a hands-on or not? So they could ask that, because they may not be comfortable with having a stranger put their hands physically on them too.
Right.
So at least until they get to know the practitioner.
And there are some situations that you can't put your hands on. Like with Reiki, we work a lot with the chakra system, and the root chakra, which is at it's in a very inappropriate place. You can't put your hands there. So in situations like that, you have to work above the body. Or if you have a severe injury and it hurts to touch, you can't. So you work above the body. So there's varying reasons, and everyone has their preference. I actually prefer to touch people. But
Yeah. I was. Are you gonna touch me? You gonna touch me? She's got healing hands. I've had Krista work on me before. But I was interested to know that when I pulled it up, did some of the research, that there is actually there's Reiki principles or ethics, if you might call them. And I guess this is what most practitioners recite. So it's like, just for today I will live with gratitude, just for today I will not worry, just for today I will not anger, just for today I will do my work honestly, and just for today I will give respect for every living thing.
Right.
Is that something that a practitioner would say before every massage or every healing?
I keep those, we call them the precepts.
Okay.
I have a copy on my refrigerator, and it's just something I look at every day. It's just a reminder.
Like a mantra.
It's kind of like a mantra, and it's kind of like rules to live by and to be present, because it's just for today, because there's only today. Yesterday was the past, tomorrow's the future. We can't control either anymore. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I wanted to share, because I know in your intro it talked a lot about proof, whether or not it actually works. And one of the biggest problems is that nobody has done a large-scale study of Reiki. There has been a whole lot of small-scale studies, though, that do show some effectiveness. And I won't get into all the details of the individual studies because that would just take too long. But it's been shown, like in this study, to significantly reduce anxiety. Systolic blood pressure drops significantly. Biofeedback changes include an increase in skin temperature and a decrease in electromyographic, so EMG readings during the treatment. Another one showed significant reduction in pain, and blood urea nitrogen, and a tend towards normalization of blood glucose for the subjects who had started with higher than normal levels. And that's just a few. There are literally tons of small scale, usually between about 20 and 50 patients, which is considered tiny in study size. But they're showing a heart rate and systolic blood pressure decrease significantly compared to placebo groups. Fatigue decreased in cancer patients. Cancer patients also experienced significant improvements in quality of life. Significant decreases in tiredness, biochemical and physiological changes in the direction of relaxation. So there's actually a study proving that it makes you relax.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing you, as you list all those things off, that a lot of it has to do with stress.
Absolutely.
And I think that triggers all these other things like fatigue, high blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, that kind of thing. So I'm not hearing anything that cures cancer, cures the common cold, cures diabetes, cures whatever. I'm hearing that it helps with the stress. I mean, we could stress over anything.
So you have to consider how much does stress play into disease?
I think a lot. I think quite a bit.
So by reducing the stress,
Yeah.
you're turning that disease around, because when we're stressed, all these hormones get kicked off, which prevent our bodies from healing ourselves the way that they should. It kind of cancels the autoimmune defenses that we have, because that stress, like, you kind of close up,
And I think that's what these naysayers forget.
Right.
Is that it's not, Reiki is not there to, it's not meant to cure the disease, but to cure basically what triggers the disease.
Yes.
So by getting rid of, by triggering that and helping the triggers or the symptoms, the stuff that's causing the disease, you end up either stabilizing the disease or it goes into remission. That's what I'm hearing.
It brings your body back into a balance,
Right.
so that your body can naturally fight
Right.
off whatever it is that you have.
And see, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
And it's just so calming to have a treatment and to just lie there, whether it's 10 minutes or an hour. It's unbelievably relaxing.
Oh, I fall asleep.
Yeah.
I fall asleep.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be touched.
Right.
And you can fall asleep,
Yeah.
because that's just how relaxing it
Yeah.
is. And it's working with energy, and that's not understood yet by mainstream science.
Right.
And there are scientists.
Even though they're the ones that keep telling us we're all made up of energy.
Right.
They're saying
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, because you have thermodynamics and you have all this scientific quantum theory tells us that everything is energy, every single thing. That the particles in this desk this is not solid.
Right.
We are not solid, And it's like.
And yet they turn around and they deny it. Well, anyway. Yeah.
Well, and I think the problem is that the scientists that are working with quantum theory and working with thermodynamics and things that deal with this, they're doing their thing. They're focusing on the bigger picture. I don't think that Reiki is even in their peripheral vision.
Well, it's a pseudoscience, so they just automatically throw it out without even
Right.
investigating or researching. Like you said, there's several small studies, but nothing really big.
Yeah.
But we know nurses who learn Reiki and then use it in their career, in their profession.
You can actually get official continuing education credits
Yeah.
with Reiki classes if you're with a certified school.
Yeah.
So some places do accept it, and there's even here in town, St. Agnes in Fresno, they have hands-on healing practitioners on call for any patients that want them. They're there and available. Well, they used to. I don't know if that's true anymore. I actually used to know. I knew the woman that worked there, and there was a few years back. There was a lot of cutbacks in the hospital.
Oh,
And that
yeah,
position
yeah,
was
yeah,
eliminated.
yeah.
I don't know if it's been brought back or not, but
Yeah.
it was there.
But there is available for other healthcare workers. There is other outside in the community. There are other places for them to go. But you're going to give us a demonstration.
Yes.
We're going to pull a volunteer from our crew.
All right, so we're here to give Anita, who was doing sound for us today. She volunteered to be my guinea pig, and I'm going to give her a Reiki treatment. So before doing a treatment, I always ask if there's any particular issues that need to be addressed or worked on, which I've already done. And I usually also ask, in this case, I know Anita, so is it okay if I touch you?
Yes.
Okay, she said yes. So the first step in giving a treatment is actually something that's called an intatsuho. And it's an intention setting. It's not quite a prayer. I don't like to use that word because it's too religious sounding. It's more of setting an intention for a peaceful, gentle, and safe healing. And there's actually some breath work that is done at the same time. So I'm going to just take a quick moment and do that, and then we'll get into the actual healing. Okay, so that's the intention setting. That's actually a Tibetan practice that you've probably seen before. After that's done, the first thing I do to the patient is, it's called scanning, or Reijiho. And what I'm looking for, I shouldn't say looking, what I'm feeling for is any changes in Anita's energy field. So for me, when I come across an area that may need some additional attention or additional work, I get almost like pringly feelings on my hands. I know other practitioners that they will feel heat changes. They may feel cold or really, some heat, like some hot. There are some that actually feel dips and valleys in the energy. So it's almost like you can find the edge, the energy field, and you can actually kind of feel it dip or rise up depending on what issues are going on energetically in the body. So, and this is just kind of giving me a general sense of what her energy needs. And now that I kind of know where to put some focus, I'm going to get into the actual Reiki itself. As a Reiki master teacher, the Reiki, there's symbols involved. And normally you would kind of have to, quote unquote, activate them. But once you get to the master level, you no longer have to activate them. They're just kind of always on. And for a treatment, I always start with the 7 main chakras, which run from the base of the spine all the way up the center of the body to the crown, the top of the head. And today I'm going to start at the bottom. And while I'm doing this, I'm simply letting the energy flow through me. I'm not using any of my own energy. That is not Reiki. With Reiki, the practitioner does not use their energy. Because then if I were to do that at the end of a session, I would feel drained. And I would feel tired and exhausted. And I would probably have some body aches. And nobody wants that. So I am simply allowing the energy to flow through me. Traditionally, how this is visualized is the energy is coming in through the top of my crown chakra and simply just kind of coming through the body, out the palms of the hands, the heart, and the eyes. And it's not uncommon to talk during a session either, because it doesn't take any concentration on my part. What I personally do when I give treatments is, at the beginning like this, I call upon the patients or the recipients, their guides, their spirit guides, their ancestors, any angels or beings that have good intentions and want to help within the healing process. I call them to surround and just to share that healing energy. And that's, again, that's something that I personally do. It's not necessarily a needed step in Reiki, because the Reiki energy really does it for you. So I'm working on her third and fourth chakra right now, the sacral, the solar plexus and the heart chakra. And what I feel when I do this is it's almost like, it's like a gentle water hose. You can just kind of feel that flow coming through. And for me personally, I feel it much more through my left hand than my right hand. And that's different for everyone as well. Now, the chakra system is connected to the body both physically and emotionally. And when the chakras are out of balance, it causes disruption in the energy flow. So what I'm doing right now is just making sure that those chakras are spinning. Chakra, I should back up. Chakra is a Sanskrit word that means wheel. And it's not really a wheel to me. I see it more as a vortex, almost like a little tornado within the body that's spinning. And sometimes it can spin too slow, or maybe stop spinning altogether due to outside influences, stress, illness, disease. So this is just kind of opening those up and getting them spinning the way that they should be. And again, there's 7 main chakras. Now, sometimes when I'm giving a treatment, because I am an intuitive, I will get messages. I don't know if messages is quite the right word. I don't hear, and I don't even see spirits. It's more of a knowingness. And that's also very common among Reiki practitioners. However, it's not something that happens all the time. The more you do it, the more in tune you get with energy. And the more in tune you are with energy, the more messages you get. And when that happens, I'll share them. I'm not going to do that now on camera. So now that I've worked on the chakra system, I'm going to do the basic hand placements that Mrs. Heiwa Takata taught. She only taught 7 hand positions. And they were 3 on the front of the body and 4 on the back of the body. And it all is the torso. Anything beyond that, she advised using Reiki intuitively. So if you know a patient has an issue with a certain area on their body, then you would just go right to that area on their body and do Reiki there. Like if they have a bad knee, you would just go straight to the knee. Now, Dr. Usui, Mikao Usui, the founder of Reiki, he didn't teach hand placements at all. There was no uniform guide to doing it. It was strictly based on intuitive practice. So not only do you do what the patient tells you is not feeling right, but what you intuitively feel is not feeling right. Because there are times when we don't even know what's wrong with us. We just kind of have a general dissatisfaction or unhappiness, and we're just not really sure. And as a Reiki practitioner, you can intuitively find where the problem lies, which is usually in a chakra, sometimes in certain organs in the body that we can focus on. And as I'm doing this, I can actually feel the energy clear. For myself, it actually feels very similar to a calm lake, like a lake that had ripples that's all of a sudden calm and peaceful, like almost like the wind stopped blowing. I always treat the head because our minds are always running, and it helps to quiet the mind, which reduces stress. The reduction of stress helps with the relaxation of the body. The relaxation of the body allows your body's natural defense systems to actually work the way that they should work. And in turn, that helps fight off illness. Now, once all the main parts of the body are worked on, then there are a few things in the closing that we do, which I will show you in just a moment. And also as a practitioner, it's always interesting to see how hot your hands get, because it's when that energy flows, it actually creates an energetic heat in the palm of your hands. And it doesn't always happen for me every single time. And it's not a sign that the Reiki is working or that it's not working. That's not it at all. It is simply being in tune and feeling it, being, as a practitioner, grounded enough to feel the energies as they flow through me. And Reiki, because it's an energetic work, it can work through clothes, it can work through blankets, it can work through pillows. It's nothing that can work as a barrier for it. It'll go where it's meant to go. And the patient is drawing it into their body as they need it. So even though I'm focusing it, like right now, on her knees, if it's her mid-thigh that is actually needing the healing energy, the energy will flow there. It's not like it just goes right where I put it. It flows throughout the entire body and spreads out. So it's a very intuitive process in itself. It knows where it needs to go. And once a treatment is finished, what we do is what we call sweep the aura, and we're simply taking our hands and we're moving the energy down. And this is just kind of like smoothing out the feathers. So we've worked with the energy. We've had our energy kind of mixed in their energy. My energetic field and her energetic field have now been intermingled. This is kind of a way of breaking up that so that we're no longer connected energetically and ending the session. And that's actually it. That's a very quick version of it. Usually lasts a little longer, but how do you feel?
Really good.
Good.
Relax.
Good. And that's the purpose. Relaxation is really the key that we're looking for. I personally believe that Reiki does have the power to actually heal an illness itself, despite what little studies have been done on it. But it's, at the very least, relaxation is good. That's great. So thank you so much, Anita. Thank you for being my guinea pig on the table.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll let you get back to audio, and I'm going to go and sit back with Jackie. Thank you all very much for watching.
That was cool. That was interesting how you did that. I know I've had a couple from different practitioners, so and I've always felt great afterwards, you know. And I know I think your mind has a lot to do with that.
Yeah,
so,
it does.
You know, but the mind's a powerful tool. I mean, I agree with that. So, but
And you know, and ultimately, the minimal effect that you're going to get from a Reiki treatment is the relaxation.
right, and
You
I
know,
did, and I did.
If nothing else, that's
Yeah.
you know, and I would love 15 minutes of relaxation anytime I can get it, you know, so.
Okay, we're back here and we're moving on. Okay, so if you haven't seen it yet, a new TV series, Proof, debuted in June on TNT, and well, you might want to just check it out. The series takes on the issues of what happens when we die, reincarnation, and near-death experiences, and stars Jennifer Beals and Matthew Modine, and produced by Kira Sedgwick. Proof probes these and other medical mysteries by standing apart from other paranormal shows because of its grounding in scientific fact rather than speculative fiction. I tell you, I watched it, and I've been watching it, and it's good. It's really good.
I
really
have
good.
not seen it yet.
Yeah,
I hadn't even heard about it, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
Netflixing it.
Yeah, catch up because it's good, and it takes out, it's a more down to earth, not a lot of the woo woo and stuff, and it talks about this doctor. She has a near death experience, but then kind of plays it down.
Right.
Doesn't want to talk about
So
it.
it's not a scripted show then. This is.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it is.
okay,
Oh yeah,
okay,
it is.
okay.
But it's not a reality show.
Okay,
She
gotcha.
ends up. This billionaire asks her to delve into this, do some research.
Okay.
And so she says no, and then she starts talking to people and certain cases, and Then she goes back to him and she says, okay, but on these conditions. And then the story goes on from there. It's good. It's
Okay.
good. And good acting. Really good acting.
Oh, I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah.
Now, another one, the Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman confirmed that the 6-episode first season of Fear the Walking Dead will debut on AMC in August, but no exact date has been given yet. But since The Walking Dead usually premieres in mid-October, it's safe to assume that Fear the Walking Dead will premiere in the last week of August, allowing it to lead straight into the mothership.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So this is the one. So The Walking Dead is based on the East Coast,
Yes.
and the Fear of the Walking Dead is supposed to be based over here on the West Coast.
Correct.
Correct.
From what I
Okay.
understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see how possibly in future seasons the characters cross over.
And there may be another third spinoff, so they're kind of rumored that around
Wow.
too. So,
Well, you
yeah.
know, I have mixed feelings about that. Well, because when you keep doing so many spin-offs, it loses its appeal, and you got to wonder.
Well, I'm waiting for the zombie apocalypse, and once we have that, all this stuff, other stuff will be moot. So
Right,
we don't have
exactly.
to worry about it anymore.
Right.
Okay. On the big screen, it's confirmed Kate Beckinsale returns for Underworld 5. Yes. Next Generation, my favorite vampiric death dealer, is back for another round of supernatural brutality as the ultimate badass heroine. Celine returns to slay the werewolf hordes in the latest installment. Yes.
This will be fun.
Oh, I love
know.
the Underworld
They're
series.
so cheesy.
They
but
are. I
they're
don't
like
care.
Horribly cheesy,
Yeah, I don't
but
care.
they're good.
I like
They're good.
Buffy the Vampire Killer too.
Yeah,
So-
me too.
it's all about girl power. All right. Well, we haven't been able to respond to mail on the air, but we'd certainly appreciate everyone writing to us and commenting on our Facebook page. So I just want to throw that out there. Keep sending us the mail. We are responding. We just haven't always been able to put it on the air. So, but just keep writing. So, anyway, thank you all. Thank you all.
All right, and that about wraps it up for us this month. If you want to see what CCPI is up to, you can check out their website at ccpifresno.org and check out me at sacredlightreiki.com to see what I'm up to. And we will see you all back for our next show, and we talk more about paranormal topics on the last Wednesday of each month, same time, same channel. We hope that you've enjoyed our show, and if you have any questions or comments, like Jackie said, please send those in to us. And if you want to see what's coming up next, if you want to watch past episodes, check out our Facebook page at it's facebook.com/Paranormal Journeys. And if you like what you've seen so far, don't forget to like our page. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us this month, and we will see you again next month. So take care.
And be safe.